You know that feeling when something ordinary suddenly feels wrong? Like a melody you've heard before, but can't quite place. Last week, I experienced something I can't explain, something that still haunts me every time the night falls. It started with a song, a haunting tune drifting through the quiet streets. If you ever hear it, do what I didn't, lock your doors, and pray it passes you by. I live in a small, quiet town, the kind of place where everyone knows everyone, and life rarely surprises you. It was late one evening when it began. I was working in my living room, my window open to let in the cool breeze. At first, I thought it was the wind playing tricks on me. A faint melody drifted through the air, so soft I almost didn't notice it. The tune was eerie yet strangely beautiful, like something you'd hear from a music box left out in the rain. I paused, listening closer. The song didn't sound like anything I'd heard before. It wasn't coming from a radio or a car passing by, it was moving, growing louder, as if the source was slowly approaching. I stepped to the window, peering into the darkness. The street was empty, bathed in the pale glow of the streetlights. But the song was unmistakable now, a mournful hum with a faint chorus of voices layered underneath. It sent chills down my spine, though I couldn't say why. As I stood there, a memory surfaced, an old story I'd heard as a kid. My grandmother used to warn me about the song Walker. She said that if you heard their tune at night, you should lock your doors and stay hidden, no matter what. I'd always laughed it off, dismissing it as a spooky tale to keep kids from wandering after dark. But standing there, hearing that melody in the air, I suddenly wasn't so sure. I closed the window and locked it, drawing the curtains tight. The song was louder now, the voices more distinct. They weren't singing lyrics, just haunting, wordless notes that seemed to twist and echo. My heart pounded as I moved to check the other windows and doors. That's when I noticed something, movement outside. A figure, shrouded in shadows, walking slowly down the street. They carried something in their hands. It glinted faintly in the dim light, and I realized it was an old-fashioned gramophone, its horn facing outward as if projecting the song. The figure stopped in front of my house. I froze, my breath caught in my throat. Their head tilted as if they were looking directly at me, though I couldn't see their face. The song seemed to grow louder, filling the house, vibrating through the walls. And then, they started walking toward my door. Panic took over. I raced to the front door, double-checking the locks. My phone was in the other room, but I didn't dare move from the door. The song was deafening now, drowning out my thoughts. I pressed my ear to the wood, and for a moment, everything was silent. Then came the knock. 3 slow, deliberate knocks. "Who's there?" I called, my voice shaking. No answer. Just the song, still playing, now seeming to pulse with the rhythm of my heartbeat. Another knock, louder this time. I backed away, my hands trembling. I remembered my grandmother's words, "Never open the door. The song Walker only comes for those who let them in." But the melody was overwhelming, hypnotic, pulling at my resolve. The door handle rattled. I screamed, running to grab my phone. I fumbled with it, trying to dial 911, but the screen glitched, the numbers blurring and disappearing. The song seemed to seep into my ears, my mind, making it impossible to think. And then, the music stopped. Silence fell over the house, heavy and suffocating. I hesitated, staring at the door. Had they gone? Suddenly, a voice whispered through the crack of the door. "Let me in." It wasn't a voice, it was the song itself, warped into words. My legs buckled, and I collapsed to the floor, pressing my hands over my ears. The voice repeated, louder this time. "Let me in." I crawled backward, away from the door, tears streaming down my face. The air grew colder, the shadows in the room lengthening unnaturally. Then came the scraping sound, a slow, deliberate scratching against the wood, as if the song walker were carving something into the door. I forced myself to look. The scratches formed words, "You invited me." I don't remember passing out, but I woke up the next morning, sprawled on the floor. The house was quiet, sunlight streaming through the curtains. I staggered to the door, my heart pounding. The words were gone. The scratches, the knocking, the haunting melody, all of it had vanished. But on my porch sat a small object, an old, battered music box. I didn't touch it. I haven't left my house since. Every night, I hear the song, distant but ever-present, circling my house like a predator stalking its prey. I've searched for answers, but there's nothing, no mention of the song walker, no way to make it stop. The townsfolk won't speak to me anymore, their eyes filled with pity or fear. So now I'm warning you. If you hear the song outside, lock your doors. Ignore the knocks. Don't listen to the